Greetings, gamers, and welcome back to yet another episode of Perfect Date, narrated by me, Esper Lydia, from Magic Missile Games. Perfect Date, of course, was developed by the Bay team, produced by Bossa Studios, and here we are about halfway through Chapter 3. We're about 40% done with the antidote. I think at the end of Chapter 3, we'll be right up at the halfway point. So we're gonna get right back into it here. Let's go ahead and do another romance, because we've only done 2 romances so far, and we need to do all 5 to get the good ending for everybody. Floofy Butt is so cute, though. It's a pity we ended on such a bad note last time. We had an argument over cats, of all things. We've been walking for ages, Major. I don't have much longer before they'll expect me back.
Almost there. It needs to be as close to the danger zone as possible to deter snoopers. Few cats, and even fewer humans, come this far out, which ensures that my deposits are safe.
Deposits? Ugh.
This is an act of trust, you understand, and I believe that our recent disagreement and resulting reconciliation has made our bond of camaraderie stronger than ever, and I would like to solidify our reunion with the sharing of something quite private and important to me.
I feel slightly awkward and mumble incoherently in response. Yes, well, what's past is past, water under the bridge, all that. I'm delighted, though, that you have reviewed and modified some of your stronger opinions, Major. Updated your map, so to speak.
Indeed. Though, for the record, I'm still uneasy about the mute elders, but I grant that finding a way to speak with them might prove more insight than I'd assumed.
Well, we really are on the same page now, Major. We come to a halt. I can smell the pungent scent of the elder cats. I've not been this close to them since that first night, and it makes me uncomfortable, but I feel surprisingly reassured to be with Floofy Butt.
This is it. We must be completely silent now, so you will have to cease that unattractive sound you're making.
I'm out of breath, Major. I can't help it.
What I'm about to show you has taken a long time and a lot of effort on my part. If anyone else should get wind of its whereabouts, or even its existence.
Yes, okay, Major. I get it. I swear the most prestigious of pinky promises that I will not utter a word to anyone about whatever I see today. Floofy Butt seems satisfied and makes an effort to straighten himself out before motioning toward a large tree.
This, my dear, is my treasure.
Oh my goodness, what a handsome tree you have there, Major. Very tall and proud looking. Congratulations. Oh my god, I'm a moron.
Oh, for goodness sake, come over here.
Floofy Butt leads me around the enormous tree to its hidden side, which has a large hollow in it that looks like it leads to a tunnel. Good God, man, are you digging an escape route out of here?
What on earth are you twittering about? Use your eyes more and your mouth less, my dear.
He's calling me my dear now. That's cute. He's also confused. I noticed then, hidden in the dark recess of the tree, is the outline of a large object which my eyes won't allow me to see clearly. What is it, Major?
Don't be shy, Denny. Get in there and have a proper look.
I have no choice but to crawl into the cavity for closer inspection. You have lots of choices, but... I ran my fingers over the item and deduced that it is made out of old, splintering wood and has cold, metal adornments on either side. I used them to drag it out of the tree, and in the half-light, I am somewhat unsurprised to see that it is an old-fashioned treasure chest. I would expect nothing less from the Major. Floofy Butt is looking at me expectantly.
Well, open it, my dear. You needn't worry about the lock. It's quite broken.
Oh, no wonder the other treasure chest was empty. Floofy Butt already stole it all. I do as instructed. Oh my giddy aunt. Major, how on earth? The chest is full to the brim with all sorts of shiny things. Jewelry, gems, coins, trinkets, ornaments, baubles, and all manner of curios. Doodads, thingamabobs, whatchamacallits. Floofy Butt lets out a low laugh.
Haha, allow me to regale you, human, with my vast adventures and conquests.
I settle down and allow the Major's voice to wash over me as I play with some items of frippery from the chest.
Ah, that coin you're holding. There's a very interesting story attached to that. Do you know how old it is, Danny? I do believe the date on it should still be legible. I remember the night I found it. I'd gone for a walk along the beach. It was blustery and dark.
I feel for the first time how exhausted I am. The walk has sapped me of all my energy.
And as I fought with the elements...
I look ahead and notice the sky is much darker. I'm laying down, although I don't remember doing so.
Valiant and victorious to thunderous applause!
I hear a low grumbling sound. Thunder? And a flashing behind my now closed eyes. Surely it's a storm, but there's no rain. That's odd. No wet, just warm and dry and hard to breathe.
And I bellowed defiantly, "You cannot have them!" But the Muellers were already encircling.
I should really get up now. Oh, it seems my eyes won't open. That's a pity.
As I bit into the still-beating heart.
I do believe I'm paralyzed. That is a shame. I try to move my fingers. Nope, they're not listening to me. I'm taking this remarkably well. Oh god.
Purrfect, wake up! We have to get you out of here this instant. Up you get. That's it. Come on.
As I come to, the world looks dark and disordered. I must be walking because trees are passing my line of vision. My hands hurt. I look down at them and they are pressed firmly to the earth, one moving in front of the other. I must be crawling? I don't know how much time has passed, but I wake up on the sand. I inspect my blistering hands. Floofybutt is sitting next to me, facing the sea. Did I dream all that?
Oh, you're awake. No, I'm afraid you weren't dreaming.
What happened?
It was my fault. I took you too close to the danger zone, and in your current state, you couldn't handle it.
In my current state?
Your feline transition is still in its early stages. It seems to be progressing particularly slowly in you.
So I'm still very vulnerable to the effects of the Elder Territory.
Quite. I was foolish. I didn't think. I was too interested in myself, my stories, my treasure, to protect you properly. Please forgive me.
You know what? You put me in danger, friend. It's not fine. My hands are probably bleeding now, and I'm late for work. So even though you knew I was at risk, you still brought me to the danger zone.
I'm ashamed to say that's true.
But why? I thought we were friends.
Indeed we are, Danny. In fact, therein lies the answer. I value your friendship highly, and I wanted to impress you.
So you thought you'd do that by having me poleaxed? Interesting.
I fear I've been rather foolish.
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll leave.
He turns to go so quickly that I almost have to shout after him. Hang on a minute, you don't get away that easily. The forlorn-looking cat slinks back toward me. For future reference, I'm not so superficial as to be impressed by a few stories, engaging though they were. Floofybutt's ears perk up a little. What impresses me about you is how much you've been willing to change your old ideas. How much effort you've made to challenge some of your opinions. We've covered a lot of ground, you and I, and you have my utmost respect. By now, the Major has completely regained his composure and is obviously gagging to chip in, so I let him speak.
Do you really think so?
Yes, you are becoming a very open-minded cat.
Actually, I meant about my stories.
Huh?
I believe engaging was the word you used.
Oh my god. Floofybutt, you're pulling a snooty booty. Stop it! He looks so pleased with himself that I decide to let him have it. Engaging is the word I meant. In fact, I'm gonna lay down here in the sand for a moment and rest while you retell your tales to take my mind off my throbbing headache.
Well, if you think it would help, far be it for me to deny my friends some comfort in their time of need. Settle down, Danny, and I shall begin.
I curl up into a ball on the warm sand while Floofybutt's voice washes over me. and I drift off to sleep and dream I'm a cat. Well, that was cute. We've got, looks like 1 research open, research 3, feeding duty. I've been warned that despite their small size, these kittens eat like horses. I'm sure I can handle it, though. It's too early. The world isn't meant to be seen before 7 o'clock. These early mornings are still a shock to me, but I'm hitting my stride quicker. I like to get the kittens fed and cleaned out before my breakfast. It's easier to do it before the rest of the camp is awake, as there are less distractions. I prepare the mush, and my stomach turns at the milky smell so early in the day. I get the swab tray ready and grab a handful of kitty treats. Hello, babies! I peer into the cage of the sleeping kittens. So cute! They're just waking up and ready for breakfast. I do a quick head count. 12. Good. No one tumbled out in the night. Come on then, let's get you swabbed and fed. Nom nom! I grab the first sleepy kitten, no more than a ball of fluff, and as it opens its mouth to yawn, I dart in with the swab, bottle it, and on to the next furball. You're getting good at this. Oh, Trix, you're up early. Going to bed late, actually. I keep swabbing, and in no time I've got all 12 little cats into the feeding cage, and I've begun cleaning out the sleeping area. Aw, cute. How long will they stay here for? I'm not sure. Generally, they're kept here for about 10 weeks, then some are released back into the wild immediately, but some are moved to be examined further. I'm still getting the hang of how it all works around here. It's a shame that they aren't all released, isn't it? Yeah, I suppose so, but they'll all be released eventually, just some later than others. You think so? Well, yes, unless they're very poorly like Ravenpaw. Trixie winces at the mention of the black cat's name. Very few of those kittens actually get released into the wild, Danny. What do you mean? Of course they do, as long as they're healthy. Oh, wow, and you know this, do you? You release them yourself? Well, no, but Professor Popper told me that the kittens get discharged at between 10 to 12 weeks. Oh, I see. Trixie smiles, but it looks fake. If I were you, I'd tag one of this litter. Oh, no, they're too young for tagging. You have to wait until they're at least 12 weeks. That one over there? He looks very healthy. I'm sure if you tagged him, you'd be able to see for yourself what happens to healthy kittens. As I go to answer, I hear the breakfast bell in the distance. Oh, Cinderella has to fly. And the calico cat is gone as quickly as she appeared. Come on then, kitties, let's get you back into your nice clean cage. I can't help but think about what Trixie has said. She seemed genuinely concerned, and there must be some basis for that. After all, she has been here a lot longer than me. Maybe tagging one of these kitties wouldn't be such a bad idea. What would be the harm? Sure, let's tag him. Come on then, back to... But before I even finish my sentence, my hand has grabbed the chipping pen and I've tagged the plump gray male. Probably silly, but it won't harm you and it could teach me something useful. Achievement unlock. Tag! Yes, new unlocks, research 7. Excellent. We find out what happens to the cat, maybe. Alright, so we've got 2 more romances, 1 more recon, and 1 research. I think we can get them all done. Yeah, got plenty of time. Hey, look, it's the treasure chest. I've rushed out to the forest on Floofybutt's insistence that I meet him at the location of his treasure chest. After the incident, we called on McMurphy and Kibbles to help us drag it to a new spot, further away from Elder territory. Major, are you okay? I was in the middle of preparing lunch when I received your urgent summons.
Quite. I was pawing through my collection just now and couldn't help but reflect upon some of our adventures.
Oh? So you dragged me away from the kitchen to reminisce? Again, cat. Danny, I don't know why I have to constantly remind you that cat.
Indeed! I've grown rather fond of our expeditions together. I do seem to find more unique articles when you are accompanying me.
You've trained me well, Major. Any advancement I made in the treasure hunting field is entirely thanks to you.
Yes. I mean, no, you have a natural ability, rather impressive.
You flatter me, Major.
Not at all. I'm a fair cat, and it is my belief that good work deserves just reward.
For a human, you're doing great. Reward?
Indeed, and so I felt it would only be right to let you keep an item from my inventory, so that you may start a collection of your own.
That's too kind of you, Major. I'm touched.
Yes, well, let's have a look, shall we? You may choose whatever you like, my dear. Absolutely anything.
I peer into Floofybutt's treasure chest. All the gems and bits of precious metal spark and glint in the sunlight. I gently move some of the more bijou trinkets out of the way and dig deep for the good stuff. Wow! I grasp a red gem almost the size of my fist. I wonder if it's a ruby, but before I can begin to examine it, Floofybutt has swiped it away with his paw.
No idea what that's doing there.
I think I see how this is gonna go.
Anything else, Danny? Whatever you like.
How about this? I untangle a string of pearl, creamy and iridescent, clearly very good quality, even to my untrained eye. Floofybutt looks uncomfortable.
Yes, they are rather special, aren't they? I do have a particular fondness for them.
I let him off the hook as my eye catches sight of something dull and cheap-looking. Major, what on earth is this? The filthy bottle sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the shiny baubles Floofy usually likes to collect.
Oh, that! Heavens, I forgot all about that thing. It might suit you. If you shake it, you will hear something rattling about in there. I do believe it contains a note or a script of some kind.
He's selling it to me.
Silly, really. I did get it into my head to find a way to open that bottle, but the cork is wedged in tight.
I choose this to start my collection, Major.
Really? That old thing?
But I could tell he's absolutely delighted. Yes, and I have an idea how to open it.
Go on, you have my attention.
I whip off my apron and loosely wrap it around the bottle, then smash it unceremoniously against the side of a tree. Whap!
Good gracious, Danny, how lively of you!
I have a feeling the real treasure is the friendships we made along the way. No, it's this parchment. I carefully pick the parchment from among the shards of glass and cast a cursory eye over the faded scribbles. A genuine message in a bottle. This could fill in so many blanks about the history of this place.
Piece of paper?
Oh, Major, this is not just a piece of paper. This is better than anything I could have hoped for.
Well, if that's what you deem to be treasure, then please be my guest.
Thank you so much, Major. I grin from ear to ear. I must go now, though. I'm late for lunch duty. I excitedly kiss Floofybutt on his furry head before dashing back to base. Mwah! And then he spends the rest of the afternoon trying to wash it off. Quick rest, because we're almost out of hearts, and let's find out what's on that paper. There are waves crashing. The sound is so loud I can't make myself be heard, but I still scream to the life raft that's moving away from the sinking ship. I'm going down with the ship. I'm being thrashed against the sides of the old wooden vessel. This isn't right. The ship looks wrong. Whoa, that's creepy. A cat's face looms up close to mine. Everything is wrong. All of it. Which cat are you? But the words come out of my mouth as mewling, and I realize I'm not myself. I'm some kind of beast. Suddenly I'm flying. I'm in the claws of some enormous bird. The beating wings are deafening. I look down to see the ground approaching really fast. You can drop through the break. What does that mean? What break? What break? Breakfast! Rise and shine! That was bizarre. That's cool, though. I mean, it's cool that the rest doesn't just... Because otherwise it's kind of arbitrary. Anyway, that last recon, I'm dying to know what that note is. The ink is surprisingly well preserved. The only obstacle to my understanding of this letter is deciphering the scrawling scribble. Some words I can make out. Punished, God, and presumably the signature at the bottom. Bill. I can make out some other words, but they appear to be badly misspelled, or possibly not even English, but some other hybrid language. Maybe colloquial? I spend an hour or two, though it feels much longer, attempting to translate each character and syllable into my notepad. I obsessively write and rewrite words until a sentence takes shape, and I am eventually left with something quite legible. Once I am satisfied that each word is correct and each sentence has meaning, I read it through from beginning to end. To whoever finds this bottled message, we have been cursed. We be judged for our sins. We wrecked on the rocks. I couldn't tell you where we be, but I think it is hell. The cats, they are everywhere, and they won't forgive us. They know what we done. My guts burn for food. I had no choice. I had to eat. I regret it now. God help me, I do. Now I am cursed, and the boys are too. The cats are eating us slowly from the inside. It burns more than hunger. It burns me rotten. They stare at me all the time with their yellow eyes. They know what we done. They're getting retribution. Justice. God help me, I pray for death. If you find yourself on the path of the infinite island, turn back. Don't do what we done. Leave them. This is their island. I need my little Lucy to know I love her. I am sorry, Petal. Bill. I read it again. And then again. But it seems the more I read it, the less it makes sense to me. I wonder if reading aloud might help me to understand, like in school, which I just did, so we're all set. We have been cursed. We have be judged for our sins. We wrecked on the rocks. So their ship crashed and they survived. I'm not sure if they're very lucky or very unlucky. The cats won't forgive us. I had to eat. I had no choice. My skin prickles with goosebumps. Who knows what lengths anyone might go to in order to survive. I'm sure I'm capable of a lot more than I'd like to believe, sat here in the comfort of my tent, but this? My stomach turns at the thought of it. I think I understand what Bill means, but the next part is less clear, and still more disturbing. They're eating us from the inside. Like food poisoning? The thought of that is bad enough. I've eaten a few dodgy prawns in my time. I shudder at the memory, but I can't help thinking he means something else. Something worse. Surely the place Bill is talking about is here, this island, the Infinite Island. I've never heard anyone refer to this place as the Infinite Island before. Most people call it Cat Island, or the Verloren Island, formerly. Perhaps this crew were the first humans to step foot on this place. How long have the cats been here, anyway? This letter seems to be at least 100 years old, and the cats are pretty well established then, by the sound of things. The cats in this note must be the elders. I suddenly feel another pang of sympathy for Bill and the crew. I know how frightening the elders can be. I decide not to tell Floofy Butt about the contents of his gift. It would only add to his paranoia. I instead promise myself I will look into this further another time. Another life, perhaps. Okay, 2 more segments. I think we can get through them before the end of the day. Let's finish up our romance. Hopefully we've done everything right, and Floofy Butt will love us. If he doesn't, then we're in trouble. Well, happy music, that's a good sign. Floofy Butt has asked me to accompany him to the beach because he wants to share some thoughts with me. As usual, I have no idea what he may be devising. He has asked me to sit comfortably on our blanket, and is now standing in front of me with a piece of paper wedged between his front paws. Did he write a speech? Endlessly clearing his throat, as though he's about to make a speech or spit a hairball.
It is often the case,
At last!
that on an auspicious occasion, a speech may be required to honor the affair.
Ah, speech, not hairball.
Today, I felt it fitting that I deliver a brief address to mark the importance of the new moon anniversary of my first meeting the person who has changed irrevocably the course of my life. My dear, I am a cat of rhetoric and proud of it. My verbosity is remarked upon throughout the island, and yet I have felt the need to scratch a few words onto this paper in case my wit and intellect should fail under the duress of sentimentality, and I find myself unable to express adequately the dictates of my feline heart. Indulge me for a moment as I grapple with that most elusive of emotions, love, for that is the matter at hand.
Don't know about you guys, but I'm looking for this chapter to be done so I don't have to do his voice anymore. I mean, he's adorable and all, but man, that voice is getting to me.
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
Loyalty, respect, allegiance, support, cooperation, and mutual trust. There is no better way to show love, whether it be for king and country or cream puff pastry, than
Cream puff pastry? That's an odd comparison there.
With a proud and loud declaration of humble,
Floofy Butt peeks at his scrap of paper.
that,
He holds the paper up to his good eye. Oh, I didn't know he had a bad eye.
blast my handwriting.
Well, Floofy Butt claws the paper to shreds. Seems legit. That's totally what I'd do if I couldn't read my own handwriting.
For goodness sake, Danny, what I mean to say is that I love you, and whether you love me or not is of no consequence. I am not expecting a response. I only wish you to know my feelings. I understand that yours, for me, may not be the same, but I request, without prejudice or expectation, that you end my limbo with a response.
I love you too, Floofy Butt. Major. Oh, Major, of course my feelings are the same. You have my unequivocal respect, allegiance, and love. Goodness, we're even starting to sound alike.
Oh my, I wasn't expecting that. I honestly don't know what to say. I was expecting you to reject me so we didn't have to hang out anymore, but this is better! This is much better.
Don't say anything, just come here. The large tabby launches himself into my arms, and we share a long and slightly scratchy hug. Aww. Relationship goals, Floofy Butt. Oh, he's so cute. And now all we have to do is finish up this chapter. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. We are ready to test some experimental medicines today. I just hope I have the stomach for it. See? We're testing things on the cats. Happy music, though. I arrived at the lab a little later than usual today. I got held up by the incredibly important task of petting all the cats I saw on the way in. Really crucial stuff. As I enter, I see a large, unmarked wooden box on the table. Morning, Professor! I wasn't expecting you to be working alongside me today.
I'm not, I'm afraid. I'm actually rather in a hurry, Danny. But I needed to explain to you a new protocol I'd like you to carry out for me.
He opens the lid of the crate, and inside are rows of small, clear bottles, each containing white fluid. What's this? Milk?
No, these are samples from our offshore lab.
Samples of what?
So many questions. Curiosity is a marvelous trait for a scientist. Now I want you to run some tests on these. I want you to check how they respond to contact with compounds 16, 18, and 24.
I noticed how deftly he evaded my question. Wasn't really very deftly at all. Anyway.
Once you've done that, provided there are no complications, I'll need you to apply the sample to some of the cats and record the results.
I beg your pardon?
Apply the sample to the cats, Danny. We're looking for specific reactions.
Of course, sir, but oughtn't I have a little more information before I start applying an untested product to a living subject? Danny, this is the testing. It's been 2 months. I thought you'd figured this out by now.
Look, Danny, I understand your concerns. Of course I do. However, once in a while one has to trim the red tape. And this is one of those occasions. Now, I really am in the most awful rush, my dear, but I have complete faith in you.
And suddenly I'm alone. I pick up one of the samples from the box. It looks like a miniature milk bottle, but the fluid inside is creamier than milk. I retrieve the compounds from the cabinet that the professor wanted me to test, and spend some time combining them with the sample. From what I could tell, the compounds are some kind of organic material, but no one has told me where they came from or what they actually are. I look at them under the microscope one by one and add a little of the sample. It's a bit like glue, so it's hard to get it to combine, but once I do, something odd happens. The dead cells that make up the compounds start to move excitedly. They aren't coming back to life exactly, but they are behaving like living cells. I have no idea what the stuff is, or its intended use, but I do know that I feel uncomfortable applying it to live subjects. I look at the cats in their cages. They look back at me with trusting eyes. Now, I know what I feel like I should do, and that's not administer it. However, I also really feel like that if I don't administer it, the doctor's gonna be mad, and I'm not gonna get the good ending because he's gonna, like, shoot me with it or something. For science! I suppose I have no choice. The professor will fire me if I won't do the job I was hired to do. I try to stay professional and detached. Besides, we experimented on that other cat with the one with all the hair. What was his name? I open one of the crates and retrieve Muffin, a slightly plump Persian. She starts purring as soon as I touch her. She's a little older than the other cats and loves the attention. I hope this stuff doesn't harm her. Set her down on the counter, get a little of the sample, and apply it gently to one of her legs. She seems a bit put out, but she's still purring. That's a good sign. I wait about 20 minutes and nothing has happened. Hopefully another good sign. I apply a little more to the back of her neck this time. I feel really uncomfortable doing this without any recommended dosage or guidelines. Flying blind goes against all of my training to date, but I have to have faith that the professor knows what he's doing. This is his project, after all. After another 20 minutes, I don't notice anything physical, although Muffin does seem to be a little more energetic than usual. She's happily chasing my pen across the counter. I wrestle the pen out of her grip and make some notes of my observations and place her gently back in her crate. I decide to spend the night in the lab. I don't want to leave her alone just in case anything happens. But by 4 a.m., Muffin is sleeping soundly and I can't keep my eyes open any longer, so I head back to my tent. New unlocks, research 8. So the next me is gonna find out what happened to Muffin. Awesome. Let's find out what happened to me, though. Sometime later. I'm lazing in the midday sun when my nap is interrupted by the familiar sound of the ferry arriving at the pier. It seems my replacement has already arrived. I stretch and roll onto my back. Cat me has sideburns. That's hilarious. But look, I'm not tired anymore. I wonder what the professor's new assistant will be like.
Hopefully they'll be a bit less naive than you were.
Major wrinkles his nose, seemingly disgusted by the memory. Was I really that naive when I first arrived here?
Afraid so.
Really? I don't remember much about it.
Oh yes, you were quite exuberant. It was really rather charming.
He grins at me playfully. I scoff, and I roll on the sand and smile at my sweet Major before closing my eyes for a midday nap. I don't regret what's happened to me, not for a second. I'm happy here with my family, my tribe. It was a struggle at first, making the decision to let it all go, give up the antidote and the idea of rehumanization. Falling in love was a great contributor to my decision-making, as was the fact that no one else seemed very motivated. I suppose being a cat just kind of gets to you in the end. Now I wouldn't consider any other life. My only worries these days are deciding when to eat and which particular part of this paradise island to sleep in. So much choice. And of course, staying out of the hands of that research team. Not that that's a problem for us. We look out for one another and we know where to hide. I slink my tail over to Floof and hook it around his tail. Happy days. Aww. Chapter 3 completed. Look at that. 3 successful dates. So that's what you gotta do for Major. Major hit. We are right at the 50% point. We have done 9 of 18 research, 9 of 18 recon, 3 of 6 cats, seen 3 endings, found 0 secrets. I don't know what the secrets are, but I'll find them in my achievement run. Maybe. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate everything you do. Remember to like if you like, hit the bell, subscribe if you feel like it, all that stuff. Remember to pause awkwardly in the middle of your sign-off, like I do, guys, because that's the way to be memorable. And thank you all so much for watching. And, as always, keep on gaming.